Everybody here for Loving Hip Hop, season 5, episode 12. Let's get into it. It picks up where it left off last week. First of all, yes, I got my lemonade and my little Mickey straw. See? My Mickey straw. Because I'm going to be throwing shade at some people tonight. I should already know it. Hashtag shade with my lemonade. If y'all hear noise in the background, both my kids are asleep. Because like I said, they had to go night-night. They was driving me crazy. I couldn't even watch TV in peace. They was driving me crazy. But I was like, okay, let me, do what I need to do. Get stuff together, put them to bed, because my son, he has school in the morning, and I gotta be at work by 10, and my daughter, my mom is gonna watch her, so, yeah. So I said, let me put them to sleep so that I can have a moment to myself, and just get these reviews out the way so that I can, go to bed myself, get myself ready for work in the morning. So, yeah, so if you hear snoring, that's my son. He snores loud. And my daughter is like right legit next to me, and I mean she snores too, but it's like small. She's not as loud as her brother. So anyway, it picks up where it left off with Stevie dropping the bomb that, it wasn't really a bomb because we already knew that him and Jocelyn were not married. Because if you're really married, the number one thing that you will remember is your wedding date. These two did not know what month, year, decade, century. They ain't know when they got married. So we already knew that when they came back saying that they were married, we already knew that was BS. So he basically tells Jay Nix and everybody else at Hot 107.9 that no, they were not married. Hip Hop Weekly, remember Benzino wanted to push that on the cover. Hip Hop Weekly basically pushed the story and said, let's say you and Jocelyn are married for publicity. And he said he only did it to help build her career and build her up as a person. He didn't admit it at the time because he was loyal to her and he was trying to get her career popping. Okay, that's all well and good. But the same exact way that you felt the way about Mimi admitting her part in the whole her and Nico sex tape, you should have admitted to her a long time. Like when she admitted that she had a part to play in the sex tape with Nico, you should have admitted right then and there that you were not really married to Jocelyn. Whether there were cameras rolling or not, that was your time to redeem yourself and start fresh or whatever. But I guess at the time, you just didn't want to ruin what you and Jocelyn had going on. Okay, whatever. But, I'm like, Stevie, we already knew that. We knew that since y'all said that y'all were married, we knew y'all wasn't really married. So, whatever. So now we get to Jocelyn, and Jocelyn she's out. I guess like she done booked a show, an event or something, and people are asking her about the allegations that Stevie made, and she's like, yes, we are married, and I know he's going on radio interviews telling people that we're not married, but I'm not bothered. I'm out here trying to get this money. He's just upset because I said what I said about Promise Be May and all this other. And I'm like, Jocelyn, just the jig is up. We know y'all not married. Just stop walking around here talking about my husband, my husband, my husband. Because ain't nobody who's married going to constantly say my husband, my. And she's been saying it since they announced that they were, that they got married. My husband, my. And that's like, right there. You don't have to. If that's your husband, you ain't got to say a million times a day that's your husband. We know that's your husband. So Jocelyn is like, I just basically want Molly the maid to wake up and put him on child support. And excuse me, and it's like, that's up to Mimi if she wants to put him on child support or not. Like, that's really her choice. If she doesn't, then let Mimi continue to be, stupid. Let her continue to be gullible, whatever you want it to be. So we get to Mimi and Stevie, and Mimi is very upset about the lies and everything, and she's like, okay, so for a whole 2 years you had everybody believing that y'all were really married. And he was like, I know, I just wanted to tell you when the time was right. So she feels disrespected. She's hurt because she feels like he couldn't trust her with that type of information. And he was saying, well, listen, when you admitted everything that happened with you and Frico with the sex tape, you know, I sat there and I listened to you and I talked to you. She's like, yeah, but when I told you that, that could have been your time to say, hey, we're not really married. This ain't a real marriage. You know, this is what it is. And you never said anything. And I'm like, well, Mimi has a point. Stevie never said anything. So, you know, he apologizes, but she's like, Stevie, it's time for you to go. You just have too much drama, and I'm not in the mood to deal with it. So Stevie is like, well, I just need to stay here until I get my stuff together. And Mimi's like, well, you need to hurry up and get it together soon, because I don't want to be involved in y'all mess. And it's like, now you don't want to be involved in the mess. Now that you know that it's a barrel of lies, it's a bunch of BS and whatnot. So, so now we get to, Jay Nix, he's having like a poker game at his house with the boys. Young Jock is there, Scrappy is there, Kirk is there. Who else? I think Bobby Valentino was, Bobby Valentino was there too. So Amber is there also, and she's being like too flirty, too in their face and all of that. And you know, first it started off with Jay Nix telling them about the whole thing with Stevie. And, you know, Kirk is like, well, everybody in Atlanta knew. Like, we all knew they wasn't married. That's nothing new. So, you know, the conversation switched because Amber's walking around refilling their cups or whatever. I guess in her mind, she thought that she was coming off as a good hostess. But really, she was looking like hella thirsty. And like just all over the place. And then, you know, if Jay Nix is supposed to be your man, you sitting up here and you embarrassing him. So, you know, Jay Nix is like watching her, and I think she spilled water or something on Young Jock. And then she's like wiping it up, and you know, she's being inappropriate, touching him and area she ain't supposed to touch. And Scrappy is like, yo, is she seriously touching his thigh meat? And I'm sitting up here like, thigh meat? Y'all come up with names for y'all penises, like different names for y'all penises every day. But yeah, like she's sitting there right in front of Jay Nix, touching all on Jock, being flirty and whatnot. And I could see why Jay Nix doesn't really want anything to do with her, because she was the same way at the strip club. And it's like, okay, you and Jay Nix might not be on the same page or whatever, but still, that's supposed to be your man, and you sitting up here making your man look a fool in front of his friends. And it's like, you know what, Amber is just, she thirsty. She's thirsty. Hey Amber, you want some lemonade? Want some lemonade? I got plenty. But yeah, I was just looking at her like, you're thirsty. But you know, Jay Nix is like, see, this is what I don't want to deal with. Amber just has no respect for me. And you know what, maybe it's time I move on. She don't respect me or whatever, and she's doing this all in front of me. Like, I'm done. So now we get to Tammy and like this real sad, dramatic walk that she's taking in the park or whatever, basically reflecting. And she's basically sad and about the issues that her and Waka are going through. Like, she knows that something's not right in her relationship with Waka, and she feels like they love each other. They've been together for 5 years. She's been with him through the infidelity, through the drama in their relationship before, and she just feels like Waka takes her for granted. Like, he just, you know, he feels like she's never going to go anywhere. Like, you know, she's just going to be there for him, and she's just starting to question her marriage. So, you know, as, you know, she's doing her dramatic walk and all of that, I'm like, Tammy got body. Tammy got a nice little booty. I mean, females, we look. I don't care what anybody say. All women look at other women's asses. It's like, it's in our DNA. Okay? And if you don't look at another girl's ass, you're lying. Because we all do. So, now we get... Mama D. I'm going to be taking a couple of sips for you. So, Mama D is rehearsing for her EP that she has about to drop. So she's doing a dance class or whatever to get everybody in shape for her single called Cinema. That that she's trying to promote, because like I said, she's coming out with an EP. She wanted Scrappy to be on it. Scrappy didn't really want to be on it, so Scrappy is like, "Ma, I don't want nothing to do with this," and I don't really blame him. I mean, Scrappy, I guess, got a career in Atlanta. I haven't heard anything in New York, but I'm pretty sure he's well known in Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to tarnish what's left of his career. But yeah, okay, Mama D, do what you do. If Jim Jones' mother could get famous off of Fizzy-Cotic, then you go ahead and you make, your song called Cinema. But she invited Betty Idol because she's basically trying to get Betty Idol on a song, as well as hook her and Scrappy up together. But Scrappy is like, he likes Betty, he thinks she's a beautiful person, but he doesn't want to deal with her and her drama, because there's drama that comes with her, and he doesn't want to deal with it, especially, everything that went down with her and Tammy, and, he doesn't want to deal with that. And, Betty Idol is like, well, who wouldn't want their son to be with yours truly? And I'm like, if my son was your age, I wouldn't want him to be with you. I just don't like Betty Idol. She's just annoying. She's like not my cup of tea. She's annoying. So, Betty Idol, I mean, she was mature in this conversation though, because she's like, well, I can understand you wanting to part ways because, Bambi is your ex-girl, Tammy is her friend. I can respect that. That's understandable. We could still be cool at the end of the day. It's no problem. So I'm like, okay, that was mature of her or whatever. But I'm like, Mama D just needs to stop. And now she talking about something. I got this deer caught in the headlights again. Basically talking about Bambi, because we all know she does not like Bambi. She's been calling the girl the Bambi for the longest. She's been calling her a deer. I'm like, leave Bambi alone. I mean, I don't like Bambi either. And the main reason why I don't like Bambi is because I didn't like her on Basketball Wives. And then it's just something about her that I can't really rock with. But I mean, she's not a bad person. I'm not really feeling Bambi, but I don't really rock with. I can't really say I don't like Bambi. I didn't like who she was on Basketball Wives though, at all. But she's just a little... I don't know. Bambi's not my cup of tea either, but I like her better than Betty Idol. I will say that. So, Mama D basically sticking her nose back in Scrappy's business like she was before. And I'm like, when you gonna learn? Like, where is Ernest? Ernest need to be... You need penis. Like, Mama D, you need penis. You need something. You need something to keep you busy, because when you get nosy, you just nosy. So, where we at now? Carly's birthday party. Okay, Carly is having a birthday party. Did anybody find out how old she is? Last I heard, she was 37. I don't know how true that is, but now I'm hearing she might not be 37. She might be around the same age as Mimi. I mean, if she is the same age as Mimi, Mimi does not look bad for her age. I know Mimi is like 43, 44, something like that. Mimi looks good for her age. So if Carly is in her 40s, embrace it. If Carly is in her late 30s, embrace it. I will say this, because I met Carly Red in person. She looks gorgeous in person. I will say that. But I don't like Carly because Carly is messy. So I just want to know what birthday we celebrating in this episode. Is she 40? Is she 50? How old is she? Does she need Geritol? Does she need you know, she having hot flashes. You know, I just want to know how old Carly is. And like I said, last time I checked, she was 37. But I don't know how true it is. I don't even think Google knows. No, lies. I Googled it before. Google told me she was 37. But somebody else is telling me she's in her 40s. That's yet another unsolved mystery. We'll get back to that later, because I'm dragging this out. But yeah, we're at her birthday party, and she debuts her song with her artist from her label. What label? I don't know, but her artist from her label, and his name is Showbanger. And after the performance, of course, here she is. She with Cat Williams. I didn't really think too much when Cat Williams showed up. I just thought he was showing support. I didn't think, oh, she's cozying up with him. You know, they together. No, because that didn't even... It didn't even look like that. Jessica Don was reading too much into it, in my opinion. But, you know, she gets to Dime and they start talking about, life and Scrap, and she said how she visited Scrap in prison. She went up there with KK. Her and KK had a good time. They bonded, and she saw Scrap and told him that, you know, she's missing him and that's her friend and all this other stuff. And you know, Dime is like, well, how does Tierra and Tommy feel about that? She's like, well, Tierra hasn't been up there to see him yet, and Tommy is not even his girl, so she don't need to have a reason to feel any kind of way. So then Dom brought up Stevie and Jocelyn and how they're not really married. So Carly is like, well, I hope that this whole bomb dropping that Stevie is doing, it'll show Jocelyn that she needs to humble herself. But you never know. People like Jocelyn, some of them don't learn their lesson. I'm like, you know what? Jocelyn clearly does not care. She does not care. Because Jocelyn is acting out because she's pissed off at Stevie. Jocelyn does not care. So, you know, they both feel like Stevie is petty for saying that on the radio. But Dom was like, well, if he's petty for telling the truth, then I don't see where he's petty. So, as far as Carly and life goes, Carly is like, well, he feels like he could pop in and out of my life, and I'm tired of it. We're either going to be in a relationship or we're not. So she's like, you know, Dom is like, well, what are you going to do? She's like, well, I'm going to go with him to LA to the Grammys, and then we're going to talk after. I'm like, I bet you do want to go to the Grammys. And where y'all going to sit? In the parking lot? Handing out fish plates? I'm just saying. That was a little bit of Keisha Cole shade. Because why y'all at the Grammys? Neither one of y'all winning a Grammy. I'm just saying. So, you know, she's like, yeah, I'll go to the Grammys with him. And then after the Grammys, we're going to talk. Because I'm tired of him doing this. He can't just do what he wants to do and feel like it's okay. And I'm like, okay, Carly. Like, you didn't just spend damn near a week in a hotel with Scrap. But okay, life can't pop in and out of your life. I guess that's why his name is Life. I don't know. So, moving on. So Tammy and Bambi, Tammy comes over to, Bambi comes over to Tammy's house, you know, brings her flowers and whatnot to cheer her up. And they sit down and they talk. And, you know, they're basically like, they're sick of these industry men. And Tammy is like, she feels like she doesn't know Walker anymore. She knows that he hasn't been faithful. She knows that he's been on the road a lot. And he hasn't stuck true to his vows. She loves him, but she's not going to waste her time waiting for him to get it right. If he can't get it right, then she has to leave. So she's like, I live in this big old house and I have nothing to show for it. Like, if my home is not happy, then I don't need to be here. And I'm like, you know, it's really sad that women feel like, you know, they have all the things, they got everything. It's sad when a person has everything they could want and need and they still feel, you know, unhappy. They still feel unfulfilled. And that's because materialistic things can never fill that void of being alone. And that's why a lot of people a little bit off topic, but it has something to do with it. That's why a lot of people can't handle fame, because fame is the loneliest thing in the world. It'll turn First of all, fame brings out the ugly in people. So as soon as people hear that you got a little bit of money, they start leaving you left and right, or they start wanting handouts, they change. Stuff happens. So to hear Tammy say, I have this big house, but it don't mean nothing to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. My marriage is not good. F a big house. Houses are going to come and go. What about my marriage? And I mean, that's deep, because there's a lot of women out here that are stuck in relationships and in marriages where they're unhappy. And they're so comfortable with being uncomfortable that that's all they know. It's their norm. So rather than going outside of their comfort zone, they stay in the relationship, only making themselves miserable more and more and more. Nothing is changing. Things are just getting worse. So I can understand Tammy's mindset, and she's just, she just wants him to do right. She just wants to be his wife. She wants him to be her husband. She wants him to do right. And, Bambi is like, we're going to get through this. I'm here for you. You my girl. We're going to get through it. And I'm like, even though I don't really rock with Bambi like that, she is a good friend. Her and Tammy have a really good friendship. So I applaud Tammy for putting her life out there on Front Street, because there are a lot of women out here that can relate to her. So now we get to J Nix and Tierra. Now, we both know they've liked each other for a while, but J Nix didn't want to really get in the way of her and Scrap. He felt like it was like, bro code or guy code that he would be breaking if he got with Tierra. But now that Scrap is away, Tierra doesn't really care what happens between her and J Nix. They're cool peoples or whatever. So she's like, they couldn't hurt. And it's been a while since I've been treated the way I deserve to be treated. J Nix is a gentleman. He's pulling out her chair, giving her flowers, engaging her in conversation. And it's nice, and it's refreshing for the both of them. She's not used to a guy being chivalrous to her. He's not used to a girl liking the chivalry that he's given, because Amber is so attention starved. So it's new for the both of them. And he's asking her about Scrap, and she's like, I don't care about Scrap and his feelings. This is about me living my life. I gotta move on. Scrap made it clear we're not together. We're not gonna be together. We're just parents to our son. That's it, and that's all. And I'm like, Tierra, do what you gotta do. I mean, it is a little bit of a violation, but it's like Scrap can't say nor do anything because he's locked up. And basically all you are to him is his baby mother. That's between him and J Nix. And if him and J Nix are really friends, then that's between them. That's a conversation they need to have. You have nothing to do with that. So now we get to Jock and Amber, and Jock basically violated bro code and went to a hotel with Amber and had sex with Amber. So she's like, well, after the guys left, her and J Nix had an argument about her behavior when the guys were there. So, she left. Jock, I guess, texted her, told her to come through. She came through. They had sex, whatever. It is what it is. So, I'm like, Jock, yeah, you did violate bro code. You really did. Because even though that's not his girl anymore, or they just broke up 2 seconds ago, you've been plotting to get up in that girl since you saw her in the strip club. You can't play innocent. So she's like, well, I don't care, because I know about Tierra, and I know he's feeling Tierra. I know he's out with Tierra right now. So she just doesn't care. And he's like, well, I feel like I should be the one to tell him because I'm his friend. She's like, I don't think you should tell him. I don't think you should tell him nothing. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to be looking in his face and he's saying to me, oh, I miss my girl. And then I know for a fact that me and you done did something. She like, I don't care about how he feel. And I'm like, see right there, she don't care. Because I'm pretty sure even if J Nix, even if he went on a date with Tierra, I'm pretty sure he would have came back and told Amber, yeah, I went on a date with her. And I realized, because sometimes when you break up with somebody and then you try to move on to somebody else and you feel like, the grass isn't greener, so let me go back to my girl. Let me go back to my boo and let them know, hey, I went on a date with such and such because I was missing you just to take my mind off of you. But it wasn't what I thought it would be. So, you know, but it's like Amber is just like, I don't care, tell him. I'm like, you should have left her in the strip club, Stevie. You should have left her in the strip club, okay? So now we get to Jocelyn and first of all, this entire conversation with Jocelyn and Tommy was so weird and it was so creepy. But I was just sitting here the whole time watching it like, I mean, Tommy was real, you know. She was real for telling Jocelyn, hey, this is what I said about Stevie. I'm letting you know. But Jocelyn's reaction to it was very disturbing. So Tommy basically, you know, she's telling Jocelyn how she misses Scrap, but she doesn't like the way he did her. So, you know, she talks about finding a receipt from Carly and them being at the hotel together or whatever. So, then she said that she said to Scrap, okay, well that's why I'm gonna have sex with your uncle and I'm gonna let him pleasure me. So Jocelyn is like, did she really just say this? Does she not know who I am? I'm like, Jocelyn, she ain't really gonna do it. She was just saying it to ruffle his feathers. And it did. It made him upset. Well, it didn't even make Scrap upset. It just made Scrap look at her like, oh, that's what you doing? You getting with grandpas and uncles and all of that now? Okay. Like, his reaction, he kind of really didn't care about it. But, yeah, but Jocelyn was like, okay, well, you just said it to, you basically just said it to piss him off. And I guess it worked. So she's like, okay, since you want to talk about Stevie going down on her, you know, maybe I could pimp her or something like that. And I'm like, Jocelyn, what the deuce? Like, where you get pimped? Oh, okay. So they talking about using, you know, Jocelyn like, well, you know, I like girls and, you know, let's put your tongue action to work. And I'm like, so because you ain't getting no thigh meat from Stevie, no beef cake, as you would say, you and Tommy about to bump vaginas? Like, okay. So now we get to the last scene and it's Stevie and Sass in the studio and he's basically like doing like, I guess he made a record for Sass to record and he's like, you know, I'm looking out for Sass while Scrap is in prison. So basically he's telling Sass, yeah, I got somebody that I know Jocelyn wouldn't like me working with, but I'm gonna work with her anyway because me and Jocelyn ain't together. It's Dom. So now he wants Dom on a record. He basically wants to work with Dom out of spite, and Dom is like, well, listen, I'm not falling for your BS. I know you be charming girls out they panties. I'm not trying to fall victim to that. So he's like, well, you know, what's your plans? And she's like, well, I plan on going to the Grammys. Dom, Jessica, Dom Penny Nickel. Okay. Carly is only going to the Grammys because of life. I don't see you going to the Grammys, boo-boo. You can't even dress like you are not going to the strip club. Every single outfit you have worn on this show is like overly revealing. And then how you gonna hide your big ass in a dress or in a pantsuit? You're ruined either way. Like, you don't have a chance. So I'm like, okay, Dom, you really think you're going to the Grammys? Okay, dream big, my girl. But that's basically where it ended. And next episode looks like it's gonna be a mess because Life comes back and it looks like he proposes to Tammy. I mean, oh, not Tammy. Whoa, wrong girl. He proposes to Carly. What else happens? I can't really remember what else happened. Oh, Mama D catches Ernest with Miss Charlene and thinks otherwise, and it's just gonna be a mess. I'm pretty sure it might not come on next Monday because next Monday is July 4th, so the Monday after it might come on. But this episode was a hot mess, and I'm just like, Lord. But y'all let me know how y'all felt, because this episode was a mess. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.